Hi, and welcome to the 2019 LANTITE numeracy questions. This is the practice test that's available online, a part of the ACER website, as an initial teacher test to be able to do. You have to pass the numeracy test. This is just the practice questions. Today I'm going to go through questions 1 to 10. I have 2 other parts already on my YouTube. If you find this helpful, go and visit them. Now in this section we have the calculator available. Just so you can see what I do on screen, I'll always try and pull up this calculator here so you can see exactly what I do. For now, let me just clear it all so you have a clean slate. There we go. I'm going to get straight to the point and stuck into it. I'll annotate where possible, showing you the process and what happens. So question number 1, what is the total cost for the first year of a silver membership? First things first, first year silver membership. Those are my important bits of information. So I'm going to go to silver and I've got a joining fee and a monthly fee available. The total cost, I have to add that joining fee of $40 and I have to add up 12 months because we have 12 months in a year. And so I'm going to do 20 multiplied by 12 and I'm simply just going to plug all of that into the calculator. So 40 plus 20 times 12 and you're going to get $280. Question number 2, which formula shows you how to calculate the total cost for n months where n is any number? So n, if you don't know the total cost for n months, imagine that I'm using what I did in the first question. So I've got that joining fee, which is $40, but imagine that joining fee changed all the time. So I'm just going to do JF. I'm going to now add on that monthly fee of 20. So I'm just going to write MF for monthly fee. And I'm going to multiply that by an unknown number of months. So you see that this is almost like the exact same formula as I just used above. I'm putting brackets around the monthly fee multiplied by n number of months because using a BIDMAS system, multiplication comes before your addition. It doesn't always have to be there. It will automatically work like that. So if we scan the answers, the answer would be B, joining fee plus monthly fee multiplied by n. So you've got B as the answer. Question 3, Sam is considering joining the gym and paying for a 3-month membership. How much more would Sam pay at the gold level compared to basic level? So gold versus basic and 3 months are the important parts there. Gold level, basic level, 3 months. So I'm going to go back, gold level, and was it basic? Yeah, gold level and basic level. I'm going to compare them for 3 months, including the joining fee because you have to join up. So let's do the basic level first. Basic is 20 and 10. So the basic level, you've got 20 as the joining fee plus 10 as the monthly fee. So I'm just going to write J for the joining and M for the monthly so it can help me. And it's 3 months, keeping that in mind. So if I use the formula that I just answered in question 2, I've got the joining fee of 20 and I'm going to add on the monthly fee, which is 10, and I'm going to multiply that by 3 months. So 10 times 3, I'm going to do that first, that is 30, and then I'm going to add on that 20, so 20 plus 30 is equal to 50. So that is the basic level. Basic level is 50. Now let's compare the gold level. So gold level, we have to go back up and scan. We've got 50 and 25. So 50 is the joining fee, and I'm going to write J, and 20 is the monthly fee to help me write M. Joining fee, let's start using the formula 50 plus the monthly fee, which is 20 multiplied by 3. We do 20 times 3 first. I'll always do 2 times 3, which is 6, and add on that 0. Then we've got plus 50. If you cancel out the zeros as well, 5 plus 6 is 11. Add on the 2 zeros that you didn't count, 1, 2, and there we go. Sorry, add on the 2 zeros. So 50 plus 60, 110. I wrote one too many zeros. That only works for multiplication, cutting out the zeros and bringing them back. So you've got for a basic 50 and a gold 110. At a gold level, he would pay the difference between 110 and 50. So I'm going to do 110 at the gold level minus 50 at the basic level. The difference there is simply going to be 60. So $60 he would pay more at a gold level versus basic. All right, infographic. This infographic shows some statistics about people in Australia from the 2016 census. Based on Australia Bureau of Statistics data 2016. Below are some statements about the infographic. Click on true or false. First one, more than 12 million people in Australia in 2016 were male. So male, more than 12 million. So I'm going to scan for the part where we've got female, male. I've spotted it here. So 49.3% of people were male. So it says more than 12 million. We'll just do the maths here. So to be able to multiply and calculate the number of people, we've got that percentage and we need it in a decimal. So if you're not sure how to do that, you've got 49.3. To get it back into a decimal form, you divide by 100. It's going to give you as a fraction. I'm going to put it as a decimal. You're then going to use that answer. So I can just write ANS, which means answer on this calculator. I can do ANS or I can drag down. You're going to have your different formats of your calculator, so be it. And you're going to multiply that with the number of people, which is 23,401,892. And then you are left with a fraction, but I'm going to convert it to a decimal. You have 11,537,132. So it's less than 12 million and not over 12 million. So that one there is false. Let me just select that one. The number of people aged 15 years and over was more than 5 times the number of people aged 14 years and under. All right, so 15 years and over, more than 5 times. It's a bit wordy. Let's just start somewhere. So the number of people aged 15 years of over, let's find that. So 15 years of over, I find age here. We've got the age, and 15 and over includes this one and this one here. So you've got 15 to 64 and over 65. We also need to calculate the number of people there. So you've got 65.6% at 15 to 64. And that's the age and percentage, just to help clarify. Then the next one we've got is 15.7%, and that 15.7% is for over 65-year-olds. Those are both included in what I want to calculate. And remember, what I want to calculate is the number of people 15 years and over. So this will encompass people 15 years and over. So I may as well just start by calculating the percentage over 15. So I've got 15.7 and I'm going to add on 65.6%. So this gives me a percentage over 15, keeping them on. So 81.3%, that total, 83 point, sorry, I've already forgotten it, 81.3%. So we've got 81.3% total over 15 years. So that's me summarizing it at the very, very bottom. And we're going to do the same as what we did last time. So we are going to calculate the number of people, and we're going to do that by doing 81.3. You're going to divide that by 100 to get it into its decimal format. Once you've got that in its decimal format, you can then multiply it by the number of people. And the number of people is 23,401,892. And converting it out of a fraction, you've got 19 million 25,738. So I'm going to write that number down. We just copied and pasted it instead. So that is the number of people. Number of people over 15 years of age was more than 5 times the number of people aged 14 years and under. So 14 years and under is 18.7% of the population. So I'm just going to get straight into it and write 0.187 as the decimal form of 18.7, 18.7, and I'm going to multiply that by the number of people in Australia at that year. And it's going to give me an answer, and I wanted to know whether or not it was more than 5 times. So I'm just going to multiply that by 5, and I've got a larger number. So I've got 21,880,769. So we know that the number of people under 14 is, well, times 5. It's actually not. So the number of people aged 15 years and over was more than 5 times the number. It's not more than 5 times that number. If I actually just put it next to one another so you could see that, I'm going to copy and paste it here. So the number of people for under 14-year-olds is here, and the number of people over 15 is here. So that value, number of people under 14, but that's multiplied by 5, keeping that in mind. So I'll put it in brackets there. Approximately 1/3 of people were not born in Australia. So 1/3 of people not born in Australia. I've got the countries of birth. If they're not born in Australia, 66.7% are pretty much born in Australia. And so a third in a percentage, this is just what you have to know. So 100% is made up of 3 blocks of 33%. If you doubled 33%, you would get 66%. And that is roughly the amount that it showed us that were born in Australia. And therefore, the last third approximately were not born in Australia. So that one's true. Which of the following values is closest to the average yearly gross household income? So average yearly gross household income. The income I've noticed is the last box we haven't used yet, 1,438, and that's weekly. So I'll zoom back up, sorry, it's weekly, 1,438. So I'm just going to write 1,438, and that's weekly, just so it's prompting my memory. The average yearly is what we have to calculate. There's 52 weeks in a year, so that's just simply testing your knowledge of how many weeks are in a year. So you're going to do 1,438 multiplied by 52. If you do that onto the calculator, we'll see what we get out. 1,438 multiplied by 5. Whoops, 52, 74,776, and we are looking at the closest value too. So I'll write down the number 74,776, and that's yearly. And so I'm going to scan for the closest one. The closest one is 75,000. Surfboard hire. So now we're moving on from the infographic. A surf shop has surfboards for hire at $15 per hour, key info, or part of an hour, up to a maximum of $60 per day. The max $60 per day is also important, but for now, I just keep it at this. What's the cost of hiring a surfboard from 9:30 to midday on the same day? So from 9:30, you've got 10:30, 11:30, and then a half hour brings it to 12. So it's going to be 2.5 hours. If you've got 2.5 hours, you're going to multiply that by $15 per hour. So you're just doing that on the calculator. That one's a pretty simple one. 2.5 multiplied by 15 gives you 75 over 2, 37.5. Or part of an hour. 37.5. I'll come back to it. I looked at the answers, and so the answer says $45. I think the misconception there, so easy to miss. So that is the proper calculations. You've got the 2.5 multiplied by 15 is 37.5. But then this point that says or part of an hour. So at $15 per hour or part of an hour. So if you use that half hour, it actually classifies as a $15 per hour. So that's a very, very minor one that people would scan over. I did just then. So you've got actually you're averaging it up to 3 hours. So 3 hours multiplied by 15 is equal to 45. So actually the answer is 45. And so easy to muck up there, but that bracket, that was something that could have tricked you there. So all part of the hour, even if you did over, you know, if you did 15 minutes, you would still be charged that $15 per hour because you've gone over for the length. Running distance. A 3,000 meter running course has 3 drink stations. The distance between start and station 1, between the stations themselves, and between station 2, 3 and the finish are all equal. Right, so you've got a 3,000 meter. Let's just go from here to here. You're at 0, you're now at 3,000. And because they're all equal, you have 3 in the middle. You've got start, so I'll write S for start, and I'll write F for finish. 3 drink stations in the middle, so I'm going to split one in the middle, and that's going to be drink station number 2. And I know one before that is going to be drink station number 1 and drink station number 3. So those are indications. The distance between each drink station, what I want you to look out for is how many sections. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. So all I'm going to do is 3,000 divided by 4. And that will give me the distance between each of those stations. So 3,000 divided by 4, 750. So that will give you 750 between each of those sections. 750 meters is your answer. Canteen time. The student council at their school conducted a survey of waiting times at the canteen. This table shows the waiting time for 183 students. How many students waited for at least 10 minutes? When you say at least 10 minutes, it means minimum. So at minimum 10 minutes, how many students waited for at least 10? So at least 10 starts from here because that symbol is less than 10. So you don't want to look below that. You're looking really at these 3 numbers here. How many students? You've got 4 plus 3 plus 2. Looking at the number of students column, so 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 2 is 9, so 9 students. The next one, you've got some true or false statements. The median waiting time was in the interval of 4 to less than 6 minutes. Median, that's a key word for us. Median pretty much just means the middle number. So the middle number. The median waiting time was the interval 4 to less than 6 minutes. So let's have a bit of a scan, and it's saying here, the median waiting time interval is 4 to less than 6. We're testing that out. To be able to calculate the median, you need to pretty much see the middle number. So you need to calculate the number of students. We've got a running total of 183 students that was given to us at the very start. So 183 students, if you want to find the middle number, you are going to divide that total by 2, because anything in the middle, like 100 divided by 2 is 50. 50 is in the middle of 100. So I'm going to do 183 divided by 2. And you got 91.5. So 91.5, we are going to try and find that number of students and the interval that it lies in. So if I do my running totals, I've got 8 plus 26, and I'll just tally them up. And we're just going to wait until I get a bingo for around 91.5. So 8 plus 26 plus 59. We're going to do that first. and we're up to 93. So I'm roughly there. So because I know that I've already done add 59 and I get up to 93, I know that I'm then up to the next interval. So that 91.5, that number of student does fall in the waiting time interval of 4 to less than 6 minutes. So that is true. The mean waiting time can be estimated by dividing the total waiting time by 8. Mean means the average. So that's the average. A way I remember this, median, you've got the letter I in it, and in middle, you've got I. In mean, you have the letter A, and for average, you have A. So the median's the middle, the mean is the average. The average can be calculated by tallying up all of the total number of students and dividing them by the number of different categories they're in. So the mean waiting time can be estimated by dividing the total waiting time by 8. Yes, it falls in the same category there. So the total waiting time by 8, yes, that's true. And dividing by 8, it's only 8 because I knew that there was 8 different columns. And so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you calculated the total number of waiting time in here, you divide it by 8 and you'd be able to get it. Socio-educational advantage. Let's look. This is pretty wordy, so when anything's pretty wordy, I'll just go straight to the questions and scan for the answers. In 2018, more than 3/4 of the students at the school were located in the 2 highest quarters. All right, so also just a bit wordy. More than 3/4 of the students we're looking for, and we're looking for the 2 highest quarters. So the 2 highest quarters, and also 2018, because there's 2 graphs. So this one here is 2018. We're looking for the 2 highest quarters we've got here, and we're looking for more than 3/4. So 61% plus 26%, you've got 87% total there. That is more than 3/4. 3/4, just to give you context, as a percentage is 75%. Because 87% is larger than 75, yes, more than 3/4 of students are located in the highest 2 quarters. The distribution of students at the school across the quarters was more similar to the Australian distribution in 2012 than 2018. So you're simply just looking at the distribution and the patterns and what's more similar. So if we look at 2012 at a glance, those the school distribution and the Australian distribution, you're comparing the light blue and the dark blue. They're more similar in 2012 than they are 2018. You've got big differences there. So that is true. The number of students at the school in the upper middle quarter decreased from 2012 to 2018. So upper middle quarter decreased from 2012 to 2018. So we are simply just looking at this upper middle quarter to see if it decreased. But there's a key thing there. It says the number of students. So not the percentage, the number of students. It's even bolded for you. So to calculate the number of students, and it actually says at the school. So I was looking at the Australian versus school. So you need to compare the one at the school, which is the light blue. You've got the light blue distribution for school. So we are simply going to use, not all of it, we're going to look at this one here. And we are going to look at this one here, and the number of students. So you cannot rely on 28 to 26. We are going to calculate the number of students. Again, you do that by doing the decimal form. So 0.28 multiplied by the total number of enrollments being 172 students. So you multiply by 172. And we are going to compare that to our next one at 2018 of 26%, so 0.26 multiplied by the enrollments then, which is 495. And I'm going to just compare those two numbers. So 0.28 multiplied by 172. And then I'll do the next one, 0.26 multiplied by 495. change it out of its fraction form. So you got 48 versus 128. That's just me kind of almost just ballparking. So 48, 128. And I'm writing 129 because it was closest to that. That's me rounding properly. So the number of students in the upper middle quartile decreased. So no, it actually didn't decrease. It increased that number. So it went from 48 students to 129. So therefore, it is false. Like I said, that is the first 10 questions of it done. A lot of this knowledge in the first 10 questions did test our knowledge of percentages, fractions, and kind of like ratios. So converting your decimals to percentages, it was expected that, 3/4 was 75%. It was expected that you could have changed a percentage and calculated the number of students by using that decimal form. So that was a really key element of these first 10 questions. If this video helped, I have 2 more videos on my YouTube channel talking through the LANTITE 2023 practice test. If this is successful and at least 500 people watch it, I'll make another video. So thank you for watching and bye. Good luck.